Hi everyone. My name is Dave Belcher. For those who don't know me, I'm the community manager at Classical Guitar Corner, and I help with all kinds of different things at the site, including sometimes giving you some advice and tips on your videos, on technique and musicality and all kinds of other things. I came across a wonderful exercise this week that I really wanted to share with all of you, especially if you're struggling with left-hand positioning. This was an exercise that Fabio Zanon, a Brazilian guitarist, gave in a masterclass this past week in Moscow. And it's intended for synchronizing left and right hands. But it's also an excellent exercise for positioning your left hand. So we're going to go over the exercise slowly, and I'll walk you through the steps of how to do it and what the benefits are. Okay, so there are two very important things to keep in mind with this exercise. The first is your left hand positioning, and the second is rhythm. So let's go through those one at a time. If your kind of resting left hand position is with your thumb high on the neck and pointing from left to right like this, you're going to have a very hard time playing this exercise. So this exercise will naturally pull your hand more into a parallel position. So if you're struggling with getting your hand from here more to here, then this will help a great deal. So let's just look at the exercise. I'll play it very slowly for you, just one time through. The first thing you want to do is play first string. We're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 in succession. First string, third string, first string, third string. And then what happens next is we're going to move one finger to the next string, and then the next finger to the next string, and then the next finger to the next string, and the next finger to the next string, all the way down. And then back down. Sorry if my strings are out of tune, I just put these on. As you'll see, because we're moving vertically with our left hand, if your position is more like this, when you move from here, which is already difficult to do in this position, because look how much your third finger is pulled back on the fret. I mean, the only way to get your finger in a better position so it's not potentially buzzing here is to move more like this. But even more so, your fourth finger really has to stretch. It has to travel a great distance to get where it needs to go. But then, worst of all, when you move back up to the second string, your fourth finger's in the way. It's blocking that second string. So the solution is to bring your wrist more in alignment with the fretboard so that your hand is parallel. And it will look something like this. Now everything should sound clearly. And it should be very easy just to kind of walk up the fretboard with your fingers. If you hear a little buzz like that, you might need to be more on your fingertips than I am. And the second thing I mentioned that we need to be aware of in this exercise is rhythm. The point of the exercise is not simply with your left hand position. You have to have a great left hand position, so this is a good way to practice that. But the point of the exercise is to synchronize your left with your right hands. So, for instance, when you're playing scales, you're not getting ahead of yourself with your right hand, where your left hand's trying to play catch up. Like that. Where my left hand is just behind my right hand and I'm playing just a little bit too quickly with my right hand. So this will help keep them exactly in sync. And you've heard Simon say on the site before that one way to synchronize left and right hands is having a good economy of motion in the left hand. If you're moving around too much much with your left hand like this, and some fingers are traveling a greater distance. So for instance, my 4 here is having to go way far away, whereas 1 and 2 are really close. It will be harder to keep all of the notes in sync, especially if you have notes of equal value, like 16th notes. It will be easier to play that when they all have about the same distance to travel, instead of... So, how we're going to practice this for this exercise, synchronizing left and right hands, is turn on a metronome. Let's just try 60 to start off with. And what you want to do is move your finger with the beat. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But you want to also lift your fingers with the beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... The point is to get your fingers moving in rhythm so that they're predictably landing. You know exactly where your right hand and your left hand will be in sync. So give this a go. Turn this off. Focusing on having a good parallel left hand position, having a nice steady rhythm where you're lifting your fingers only enough off the fretboard that you need them, so you shouldn't have to do this. If you have a good left hand position, then all you should need is just a little bit of movement to get to the next string. Keeping everything in rhythm, using the beat to place your fingers on the frets, and the ands of the beat for lifting off of the fret. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try and let me know what you think.